Hi, my name is Sierra Mansker, and I'm here to tell you today about how I would spend $10,000 in my library if I was able to obtain that. And hopefully, one day I will. So, first, I wanted to go over the different vendors that I would use for specific areas in my library. So, first, when it comes to books, I would go probably first to Follett through Tidal Wave, then utilize Scholastic as well as the Junior Library Guild. For makerspace options, I would use the Lego Education website, Stemify, and School Outfitters. For furniture, I would look at the library store, Dimco, and School Specialty. For technology needs, at my school, I actually went a little particular with the utilization of Nearpod and Vocabulary as well as Mackin, specifically Mackin Via, and I'll get into that a little bit later in this presentation. And for supplies and decor, I would look at Oriental Trading, Amazon, and Office Depot. The only caveat with Amazon is to make sure that it is shipped and sold from Amazon. So the first thing I'd look at when it comes to books is actually the subscription that Junior Library Guild offers, where they send books to you monthly. It makes it so easy to get the latest and greatest in books. And so I looked at the areas for my library statistics as to which parts of our library needed a facelift. So looking at where the arrows are, you can see where I focused my attention based on those library statistics. So right now I don't have any audiobooks or audiobook subscriptions, but I'd like to make that change for the upcoming school year. So you can see where I have an arrow pointed to audiobook middle 12 plus, which means that the audiobooks that would be selected would be for middle grade students, which is perfect because I work at a junior high. And that plus there means that I would get an extra book loaded in the months of September and October. You can see all of the arrows that I have also have that plus, so you know I'd be getting that extra book. So then again, we have high interest middle, and then high interest nonfiction. My nonfiction needs such help to be more current and up to date. I think the latest library statistics that I had on my circulation shows that very few students pick out nonfiction books, but the average publication date of my nonfiction runs anywhere between 1997 and 2007. So we don't have very many up-to-date or recent published books in the nonfiction section, so that is a priority for me. And then again, you can see that I wanted nonfiction middle plus, so this coming school year would have a lot more nonfiction. And going through the Junior Library Guild means that I know that these books are going to be of high quality and often ones that have been awarded in some way or been finalists for an award. So I would know that the book was actually pretty substantial to put on the shelf and would actually qualify for high interest for that high interest one. The total for these subscriptions would be $1,285.42. And to me, that is money well spent because it gets shipped right to you. And you can choose whenever you set up your Junior Library Guild if you want them to go ahead and add this into your catalog. I like to do it myself, so I don't have that option selected, so that's why you don't see that information here, but you might want that. For my makerspace option, I wanted to go with the Lego Education, specifically because my school has quite a few kids who are interested in Legos and building these large Lego sets. I also have classes at our school that are in robotics. So we have 3 different robotic classes that are capped and full at 30 students per class. So that's 90 students out of my 430 who are already involved in our robotics class. Hopefully with seeing this as a makerspace option in my library would give those students an exciting feeling because then they'd be able to utilize those robotic skills, but also maybe encouraging other students to participate. Now, with the sets, you can see that it's only for 2 students a piece, so each set would only be able to be used for max 2 students, which is why you can see that I wanted 5 different sets so that way I could have 10 students working on it. The cool thing about Makerspace Lego education is that they are standards aligned. There are quite a few bricks that are included, as well as motors and things of that nature, and you can buy replacement parts so the kit's not completely destroyed if something is broken. You can utilize an app that will help the students walk through how to build whatever it is that they're looking to build. This is the Spike one, so it looks like they're building some sort of RC car. There's also teacher training that is free, online, and self-guided. And Lego has really tried to work to where there are videos there that are simple to follow, and the interface of their app is very user-friendly. I also like that there's a community piece where we can share together with teachers, but there should also be the opportunity for, students to be able to watch those videos too and learn from one another as well. It does come preloaded with 29 different lessons, so I thought that was an awesome opportunity for Makerspace because I do only get to see the kids every other week, and it's like every other Tuesday or every other Thursday, so that should last me through the whole year, meaning that every kid should have the opportunity to try something new. For our furniture, I'm sorry, I forgot. The total here would be $1,999.75. Back to furniture. So I'm going to have 2 slides for Dimco, but the first one and my main focus is this shelf here. Our current shelving is poor for middle school students. They are very high shelves, and while some of our students are of the taller variation, most of our students are around 4 foot. So when we have the majority of our library space closer to the ceiling, it's making our books literally unreachable for some students. And so I'd like to start moving towards shelves that are more appropriate for the height of our children. And so I would want the starter one. You can see that's the taller one of the grouping in the picture. And I didn't go for the whole gambit, but you got to start somewhere. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'd like to start getting some of these shelves. And this one has, it's double faced, which means that it's going to have shelving on the back and the front, and it is mobile, so I'd have the opportunity to then move it around later if I found that there was a different way to put together the library that would incorporate areas for maybe even some makerspace or silent sustained reading. It would just give the library some flexibility. And for that one, I only wanted the one, so that's that price, the $1,978.99. For continuing with our furniture, our signing is very poor in the library, especially when it comes to our nonfiction. So I really wanted to get some of these dividers that would give the children, the students, some graphic visualization over what each section of our nonfiction area would represent. So not just the numbers, but also words that they can associate it with. So that's why I wanted to get both sets of those. I wanted to get a couple of those beanbags to create a little reading nook to make our library a little bit more personable. And then I wanted to get some of those wobbly stools. You see that I have 5 there, and that's because I have 5 different tables at the library. And so I wanted to put a stool at each table for our little wiggle kids who can't sit still to save their little lives. So hopefully with this more functional seating, that would create a better environment for students to enjoy. And this, again, is for everyone. And so the total then is $976.31. So before I get into the technology piece and what I would be looking to buy and who it would be geared towards, I wanted to highlight some things about Mac and VIA. First, Mac and VIA, you can see it says it's free. So it says the free Mac and VIA allows users to view and manage all of their digital resources on any desktop or mobile device. And then you can see there with the little icons, the big things that they're focusing on: ebooks, databases, read-alongs, audiobooks, class sets, and digital videos. Before I show you what I'm about to purchase, because it's a big one, I wanted to, tell you that in our community, we have a systemic issue with students and just overall in the community. We have such a low importance on education and low importance on literacy. So there isn't many options or times where students get that read aloud or read along. And so with this, I think that we would see drastic improvement in our students' readability levels if they were to have these options in place, because as it stands now, they don't. And it's becoming crucial that we address this issue, since most of our students are reading on a 3rd or 4th grade level, and those are our high students. We do have some that are in the 8th grade that read at a 1st grade level. So it is time that we spend a lot of our effort on trying to, as a collective staff, address this literacy issue. And so with that, the number one thing that teachers say whenever there's new technology thrown at them is that they don't know how to use it because they weren't given a workshop or they weren't shown how to utilize it. So I would want to purchase the workshop for 35 participants, which our staff number, I think the last time I counted it or looked at it, was 43. So there'd be very few who wouldn't be included. I probably wouldn't include people like our PE coaches and things of that nature, not because I don't think they should know, but because typically in the classroom when they're doing their lessons, they're not utilizing literacy-based skills. Any teacher whose classroom is mostly devoted, or at least over halfway devoted, to utilizing literacy skills, or will be tested in a way that tests literacy skills, I would invite them to this workshop. So that way they know this tool and that we can all work together to benefit all of our students and all have real information from the databases about our students and about their productivity. And, we can even use this in ways for intervention. Having that true data to be able to see exactly what we are missing, what we can address as a staff instead of focusing purely in our ELAR classroom. This is a community issue, so it's going to take a community to solve it. And then lastly, we have supplies from Office Depot. These things are things that I would use. So I would have 7 packs of our Clorox wipes, because we utilize Clorox wipes to wipe down our Chromebooks, even though they tell us not to do that. That's what they give me to wipe them down. So I would get some Clorox wipes to wipe down our Chromebooks whenever they get turned in. I would use it to wipe down our surfaces during, high flu seasons and things of that nature. I do need a pack of Sharpies with that large chisel, so that way I can mark through any books that have been damaged or do whatever other marking I need to do. I find that my finer pen Sharpies, they grow legs and walk away, but the big ones tend to stay. So I would want a pack of those. For our Chromebooks, the way that we organize them is we have them in a nice little carrying case, and there's a little sleeve on the back that is about the size of an index card. And when I check a Chromebook out to a student, I write their information, their email address, their student number, and their name on the card, and I slide it into that little slot. So I'd need about 5 packs of those, because they come into a pack of 100 each. And we have, like I said, about 430 students. So I would need the different colors then to designate the different grade levels. I'd want 1 pack of those different colored USBs, so that way I can keep my materials that are digital, separated individually, and a hard copy, because we all know that having things saved in multiple places is the best way to go, and not just relying on maybe Google Drive or your desktop. When it comes to book repair, you often need scissors, so I'd want another pack of scissors because similarly to my Sharpies, my scissors often run away from me. And then I'd want some sticky notes. I use sticky notes for everything from reminders to passes to, writing down that I need to weed this book or that this book has been barcoded and this is the number, because I might not print the barcode right then. So I do need some more sticky notes. So I'd get 2 packs of that, the large sticky note pack. So that would come to $201.70. So this would benefit mostly me as a librarian, but the Clorox wipes and the note cards would certainly impact every Chromebook that I would service, which ends up being over $430 because kids need to check them in if they get damaged or whatever other circumstance might occur. So our total budget was actually $10,000, and out of that we spent $9,942.17. Most of the things that we saw today would impact the entire student body. The Mac and VIA would impact the entire staff minus a few people, and we would have to look at who is going to be more of a literacy-based staff member for that. And then the Lego education wouldn't be able to use by everyone at the same time, but hopefully throughout the year we could cycle through different students. Thank you for listening. Bye.